G'day, it's Pete here, and we are back at the World Bridge Series. This is the final of the Open teams. They've been playing already. It's finishing today. Let's jump in and see who our new world champions are going to be. Overnight, Nickell were up 16 imps. A few boards have passed. They're now up 12. So here we've got this nice powerhouse hand. They've got 19 points. And here they had an auction where they found their spade fit and got to 4 spades. So here the real question is, dummy comes down with not the strongest hand. How would you approach playing this one? If you're making a plan from the south hand, you've got these 4 club losers, a heart loser, and a diamond loser. Now, if you can trump 2 clubs and a heart, you'll be all good. Or if you can set up diamonds, or if something particularly friendly happens in clubs, you might be able to make this contract. So here on a heart lead, here what they did is they won, and they started with playing a club. And here this went. And now the defense gets into spades. They're trying to prevent you being able to cross ruff. They can see that there's the shortage in hearts. You're building another shortage. So they're starting to draw trumps. So they win. And at this stage, they're like, okay, I won't be able to ruff enough of my clubs and hearts, so we better try and set up diamonds. So they went in for ace of diamonds, diamond, which they won. Now, if diamonds are 3-3, or if you choose to play east for king, queen, 4th diamond, you'd be able to make this. But they win the next spade and then just give up a club. Now they get to win the heart. And they ruff 1 spade here, and now they play a diamond, hoping diamonds are 3-3. And what they're going to do is ruff and then hopefully draw trumps. But East shows out here, and they're down 1. At the other table, they also get to 4 spades. And on this one, they start off pretty similarly. They win the ace of hearts, and they also started with a club up. And here West hopped in with the ace rather than playing low. And they chose to continue hearts rather than push a spade. This changes it a little bit because if they draw trumps, I think that's a tougher defense. But they continue here, and now he gets to play another club. And it looks like they'll be able to do their cross ruffing. So they ruff, and they lead the jack of diamonds. And with doubleton king here, leading the jack works remarkably well. So they win the ace of diamonds and then just continue a diamond, and dummies set up. So it's one there's like a few different ways that you could actually try and navigate it. But in summary, what they're trying to do is they're trying to threaten to cross ruff, and they're trying to threaten to set up diamonds and see which direction that the defense takes it. Now, I think if drawing trumps, you have to then guess how you want to actually play diamonds. But nice pickup here for Nickell, who manages to make 10 tricks and get a game swing. So let's check out the score from the first stanza. So all tied 16 apiece for that, but they already were 16 up, Team Nickell. So it's now 116 to 100. There's only 32 boards left to play in the final. Let's jump into stanza number 2. So here we had an interesting auction where it went pass, and North opened 2 hearts, which was like 10 to 13 with 6 hearts, sort of intermediate strength. And here it went pass, and South with their 10 points asked, inquiry, how good are you? And North liked their hand, so they managed to get to 4 hearts here, which has a spade loser, a diamond loser, and a club loser. So it makes relatively comfortably here. At the other table, there was the real question of how do you evaluate this South hand? So here it went pass by South, pass, and they got a 1 heart opening rather than the 2 heart opening, and a 1 spade overcall. Now, here you've got 10 points with 4 hearts, but how do you actually evaluate this doubleton queen? It doesn't seem that good. Also, partners just opened 3rd seat, not vulnerable. They don't need to have a crash shot hand. So here Nickell chose 3 hearts, which looks like they were attempting a mixed raise, which is usually like 4 card support and 6 to 9 points. And when West pushed on to 3 spades, North thought, oh, my king of spades looks relatively defensive and we've got a big heart fit. I don't want to push them into 4 spades. So they took the low road and passed and defended. And Ace is like, this sounds great to me. And they actually pass it out. So here, North-South missed a game contract. But it's really interesting about how do you actually evaluate honors in the opponent's suit. There's no easy way to do it and trying to gauge it. And here, the king and queen of spades are actually working pretty well together. So 4 hearts can make. Now, I do think that because South is a passed hand, I would probably bid 2 spades as a Q-raise, just because your hand can't be much better. Not vulnerable, didn't open. It is hard to evaluate this queen, but I think it's probably a 2-spade bid is probably what I would be choosing here. But interesting one nonetheless about here, both North-South trying to evaluate the spades, which with the overcall, it was pretty difficult to try and gauge that they were good. Whereas the 2 heart opening sort of had this interesting effect that it pushed the opponents out of the auction. So they weren't able to tell you they've got spades. So you didn't have to worry about, are your spade honors actually good or not? So funny how that all sort of works there. So the scores from this set, Ventin had a massive set. They picked up 45-19. Going into the final stanza, they are up by 10 imps. So big win for them. All comes down to these final 16 boards. This is a surprisingly close final. Let's see what happens in the final set. So here, with 7 boards left to play, the scores were all tied. And you pick up this wondrous hand, 7-5 in the majors, and your partner opens 2 clubs, which isn't just a game force. The way they were playing it is either a weak 2 in clubs or any game forcing hand. Now, how would you actually approach this 7-5? So I think they were thinking, well, its partner is almost certainly going to be the weak 2 in clubs. So what do you want to do? Now, they chose 4 spades, which seemed a relatively practical option. At the other table, here it went pass, and South didn't have a weak 2 in clubs available, so they passed. And West opened 1 club, and here they opted for 2 diamonds. Now, 2 diamonds might look a bit unusual, but the way that they actually play over 1 club is they play 1 club, 2 clubs as natural with clubs, and 1 club at 2 diamonds as the Michael's Q bid. So 2 diamonds here showed both majors, 5-5, and a partner bids 2 hearts. And now they jumped in spades to say, hey, I've actually got longer spades. So this is often a good way to be able to show 6-5s, 7-5s in this case, with quite good hands. You can tell partner about your 2 5-card suits, then bid the other suit to say, hey, my hand's longer. And they get to 4 hearts. So here's the whole hand. Now, 4 hearts is a much nicer contract than 4 spades with the void here, but really hard to gauge at the other table. So here they got a diamond lead and they won the ace. And 10 of clubs, they covered that and they trumped in. Now they roughed 1 spade and then played a heart to the jack. And here when they win the king and return a club, they get to finesse hearts again, and because the honors were split and hearts were 3-2, they then draw trumps and actually get to play ace of spades and then another spade. And because spades were 3-3, they were all good. Now they did need... here they might have been able to make with like Jack 10 Dalton spade or something else as well. At the other table, here in 4 spades, it's a lot trickier. So here they got a heart lead because they'd never actually shown their hearts on this auction. And they win the ace, so good start for Declarer. But ace of spades, queen of spades, they're going to lose 2 spades, they're going to lose a heart, and they lose a diamond. They even get to rough the ace of clubs, but they just can't get to the dummy to enjoy it. So they played the jack of hearts, and now Declarer gets the ace of diamonds. So with 7 boards left, Nickell gets a really vital pickup there. And here, Nickell goes on to win. So our world champions are Nickell. I wanted to highlight a cool final board from here, which is here. This board was flat at the end, but this is the final board of the teams. and you get to 3 no trumps, and prospects just aren't looking great here. You've got 2 hearts. You might be able to get, say, 4 or 5 diamonds, but outside of that, where are your tricks actually coming from? So I want you to pause the video and try and work out how would you actually play this after you get to win the 10 of hearts. So what sort of approach would you have? And I'm fairly sure you're not going to delve down the same line as Weinstein here. There's just such a cool play. They actually came out the king of clubs at this stage, and this sort of feigns stronger interest in clubs than what he actually has. And sometimes they might duck clubs, or if they do, they might not. If they do take it, they might not keep going. So they take the ace of clubs, and at this stage, it looks like Declare is going to be attacking clubs. So South elected to switch to diamonds. So they led a diamond away from their queen because they were worried that the clubs were going to set up and then they'd get back there in time. So here they found the diamond switch, which twofold gave the 10 of diamonds an entry, but also cost them their diamond trick. So they get to now play a spade towards the queen. They then run the diamonds, and then at the end, here they get to exit with a club, and North wins and will actually have to lead away from their ace of spades as well, and get the 9th trick there. But super cool play. Can you just imagine being in the Open final, World Championship match? You know the match is pretty close, and this is how you're going to be playing the final board. Pressure is on, and comes home with a really nice play to finish it off. So here, Nickell were our world champions. So here they won 186 to 164, picking up quite strongly in the final set, 51 to 19, to overcome the 10 deficit they were going into it. So our world champions are Eric Greco, Jeff Hampson, Ralph Katz, Bobby Levin, Nick Nickell, and Steve Weinstein. And Jill Levin was the non-playing captain. So congratulations to all of them. Fantastic result. The runners-up were Guy Mendes de Leon, Joaquin Pacaro, Antonio Palmer, Thibaut Spritzwiesen, Juan Carlos Ventin, and Frederick Rang. A great final, some really cool bridge there, so well done to them. Alongside of this, there has also been a pairs world championship that's been running, and the results from that are: in 3rd place, we've got Geir Helgemo and Fredrik Nystrom from Norway and Sweden. In 2nd place for the silver medals, we've got Nabil Edgton and Michael Wibley representing Australasia from Australia and New Zealand. And taking out the top spot with a dominant performance was Christoph Buras and Piotr Lutastansky with 60%. Huge final from them. So congratulations to all of them. Thanks all for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time.